I'm Donna Blanchard, and this is your ThinkTech Daily News for Friday, May 22nd, 2015. 21 people were killed and 120 injured in a suicide bombing at a Shiite mosque in eastern Saudi Arabia today. A new unit of the Islamic State extremist group is claiming responsibility. They call themselves the Najd province of the Islamic State, after the central region of Saudi Arabia around Riyadh. This appears to be the first official claim of an attack inside the kingdom by the Islamic State, which has now taken control of much of Syria and Iraq. It's still unclear whether the attack was planned by the Islamic State leaders, initiated independently by a Saudi sympathizer, or merely claimed opportunistically by the group. United States and Cuban negotiators have been meeting in Washington this week to reestablish diplomatic ties broken in the Cold War more than 50 years ago. Today, representatives from both countries emerged without an accord, but stating their resolve to continue talking. A Cuban negotiator and director of North American Affairs, Josefina Vidal, said today that progress had been made and both delegations agreed to continue exchanges on the aspects of functioning of diplomatic missions. When she was asked what was stalling the agreement, she evaded the question by saying that future discussions would focus on the functioning of the embassies. The United States has insisted on having diplomats free to travel and speak openly to people, which Cuba often regards as a mean to stir up dissonance. In 1961, Fidel Castro ordered a drastic reduction in the staff of the American embassy, which he considered a spy outpost aimed at toppling him. The U.S. later broke relations altogether. Raul Castro and President Obama recently publicly stated that they want embassies. The World Bank released a report today stating that Gaza's war-battered economy is on the verge of collapse. The unemployment rate is the highest in the world at 44%. Segregation of that area and infighting between Islamist Hamas rulers and Western-backed Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas is delaying reconstruction of the tiny territory, which suffered widespread damage during the war. The report went on to say that 40% of Gaza's nearly 1.8 million Palestinians live in poverty, even though around 80% receive some sort of aid. These numbers fail to portray the degree of suffering of Gaza's citizens, the report went on to say, citing frequent power failures, limited access to clean water, war-related psychological trauma, and limited movement because of the difficulty of importing materials for rebuilding. Israel and Egypt have restricted materials entering Gaza because Hamas has diverted these in the past to build tunnels for cross-border attacks. After some tumult with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over our willingness to collaborate with Iran on a nuclear deal and Washington's insistence on a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, President Obama visited a synagogue in Washington today where he called himself, quote, an honorary member of the tribe, and also said that the United States has an enduring friendship with the people of Israel and unbreakable bonds with the state of Israel that could never be weakened. Despite the fact that Mr. Netanyahu's new government is very, very right-wing conservative, President Obama said, when I hear some people say that disagreements over a policy belie a general lack of support for Israel, I must object, and I object forcefully. A lot of Irish citizens who have been outside the country have flown back to Mother Ireland to cast votes in a referendum to adopt same-sex marriage today. A social media campaign in support of same-sex marriage and aimed at Irish citizens abroad urged them to come home for the vote, and a stream of expatriates answered the call in airports around the country. Ireland may soon become the first country to adopt same-sex marriage by a popular vote. Happy Aloha Friday, everyone, and a hui ho. Donna Blanchard, ThinkTech Daily News.